So I know I've touched on social media in previous videos. Just wanted to go into it a little bit more detail now that we're ending the semester pretty soon, um, and things to think about as a professional as opposed to somebody who's in school or just playing with your friends online. That is. So the first site, obviously, to think about is LinkedIn, and I mentioned that way early in the semester. Hopefully, by now you're all on LinkedIn if you weren't already, and that you're linking to people. You're linking to all your friends, fellow students, professors, people you meet on internships, bosses that you like, and then in your networking process, link to people that you meet. So, I mean, that's an obvious one. People will build up their profile on LinkedIn by posting either interesting articles, design professional related articles, or events that they've been to, or their thoughts about, some new event in the design industry. Like, some new AI comes along and said, oh, I just tried this AI and it's good for this and it's terrible for that. And so you become a kind of presence on LinkedIn as a designer, as a professional designer. That's a way of using social media. The other thing you can do is on probably Instagram mainly. Um, I mean, I know Facebook is for older people now. It's kind of making a comeback just because it's such a gigantic platform, and also some of the people that you might be working for might be on Facebook. But this is totally up to you. You don't have to do any of these things. You can do it any way you want. Just talking about the different aspects of social media. Um, so Instagram, you can have an account which is you and your pals, but you could also have an account of you as a designer. Now, this would not be necessarily a portfolio site. This would be you projecting yourself as what kind of aesthetic you have, what kind of design interests you. I went to an exhibition at a gallery that focused on typography integrating with paintings. And here's a couple samples, and they look really cool. Or I like them, it reminds me of this designer that I know. Or, the latest issue of this magazine that I love, National Geographic, for instance, has this amazing photography that all the stuff on that account is just about the kind of stuff that interests you, or the stuff that I think is a total waste of time, or the new campaign for Jaguar looks ridiculous, or campaigns that people do that are really cleverly done, that you occasionally post on that site. So when people Google you, and they do Google you, either just out of curiosity or when you're trying to apply for a job, that this is what comes up. This is what, Louisa McCabe as a designer, this is what she likes. And you can do something similar on Facebook. And again, that's an older demographic, but it might be the kind of demographic that's going to determine your future for a while anyway. People that are going to hire you, the higher ups in your companies if you work for big companies. So Instagram is more known for imagery. Facebook is images and chats, stuff like that. And you guys know more about the other social medias. Twitter has become ridiculously political. So I'm not sure how useful that is for a designer. LinkedIn is, if you're going to project yourself as a, sort of thought leader designer, I think that's a good place to post from time to time. It is not a place to say, I just broke up with my boyfriend or whatever. Here's where photos from my vacation. It's more about your professional projection of yourself. You probably know lots about this kind of stuff already. You very well may know more than I do, but it's a useful way of sort of using social media to uh, uplift your self-presentation in the design world. This is a good thing to do. The other thing with social media, which I'm pretty sure I spoke about earlier this semester, was to just not trash people on social media. And this goes for design accounts, personal accounts. It's always a terrible idea to do that anyway, but piling on and saying really horrible things about people, it gets around. If you have a private account, somebody can screenshot it. If you, say it to your best friend, a single message, it may accidentally go to the wrong person. And people have been fired for stuff like this. People have missed jobs, opportunities for people like this, for things like this. Some people dig up stuff from years ago. I think I told you the story of the gal who'd said some anti-Semitic things when she was 17, and then 8 years later, they found that old stuff in her social media. God knows who was looking through it all. But this stuff pops up. So try and present yourself as a nice person, a thoughtful person, somebody who doesn't just react immediately and just start saying awful things about people. I know we're in a pretty politically divided world at the moment, and you're perfectly within your rights to say whatever you want on your personal accounts, your opinions, whatever. Just be aware that everyone can see it. It's social media. And it can, people in Japan can see what people in England are writing about. And they do. So anything else, social media, you don't have to do any of this stuff. I just think as people starting out, it's a great opportunity to make yourself more valuable and have a better career, get more of a kind of job that you want, and something that you're going to have fun at and you're going to make more money at. This is how you use your college education to get into a particular kind of industry. And social media is a real help if you pay attention to it. Now, the only other one I was going to talk about is YouTube. I just remembered. Now, some designers have YouTube channels, and you get on and you do what I was talking about for the other media. You can show designs you're working on. You could show a gallery that you went to. You could talk about projects that are upcoming for you, or, I'd really like to try this kind of a project. I mean, there's loads of design stuff you can talk about. You can talk about typography, or if you're into that, or photography, or I think this photographer is an amazing photographer, and here are the reasons why. Just stuff that can engage other designers. Because if you're using it for your professional profile, that you're talking about the design world, and people will see how you view what's going on in the design world, and that makes you a valuable, interesting person to have in their office. This is a huge subject. Social media is going through all kinds of changes. It always does. It used to be one kind of thing, and it's changed to this kind of thing. And, they might spin off YouTube to be a totally separate company. When that happens, the whole aesthetic's going to change. Instagram and Facebook might have to be separated at some point. That's going to change them both in different ways. Of course, there's TikTok, too. I don't know a lot about TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. But designers go on TikTok, too. I mean, it's up to you. But if you're going to invest in time to do social media to further your career, right now, the beginning is a great time to do that. It's not a requirement for this class. I'm talking more about you moving forward after you graduate. Anyway, I will be talking to you in several minutes. This is on Sunday. I've sent you a couple of announcements. One is about the list of all the projects you should have finished by the end of the semester. In addition to your projects, an interview practice and the AI and the resume, all that stuff. It's all in the list. So all of it has to be finished by May the 17th. And then date for the portfolio review, which is also on Brightspace. And They haven't given me a schedule for people to sign up to yet. Uh, as soon as I know, I'll send it out to you, but at least you know what day of the week it's going to be and how much time you need to put aside. You don't have to be there for the full time, by the way. You can be there for half an hour, an hour, whatever. But I will talk more about that later. Okay, see you soon.